to be a ballerina. I want to be a journalist.
I want to be a pilot.
I want to be a musician. With my degree in kinesiology, I'll be a personal trainer.
I'm majoring in biology, and then it's off to grad school.
So I decided to major in journalism. And my dream then was to write for a newspaper.
I just wanted more in life, and I wanted to travel and all of that, and met this guy who was tall and handsome and spoke really eloquently.
He was a party guy. He was drinking quite a bit, but he was really nice, very sociable.
He told me everything that I wanted to hear. He was a smooth talker. I thought he was a very good-looking guy.
Made everything all about me, and I was so amazing and great, and he, would do anything to be with me, and just had this very romantic sense about him, and I fell for that pretty quickly.
I mean, it was great. It was like the honeymoon phase.
We quickly moved in together, and we're planning the rest of our lives together, and we're pretty much like we're gonna get married and have kids and do the full thing from the very get-go.
At first, it was really, really minor, small things. It was, my phone would go off. Oh, who are you talking to? And I thought it was just him being curious.
I knew things were wrong somehow, but I just couldn't quite put my finger on it.
He would drink all the time. He would get really just in my space, and I just felt like something wasn't right. I just felt like I'm not safe here type thing.
Very small things like that, and it wasn't until somebody pointed it out to me that I really started noticing, oh, that's kind of odd that I don't have my cell phone, or it's odd that I don't have my debit card.
So we started to leave, and he couldn't find his glasses, and of course that was my fault, and he was very angry with me for that. I tried everything I could to find these glasses, and I couldn't find them anywhere.
He was like, I'm gonna go get a dinner and I'll be right back, and he didn't come home. At that time we had 2 cars, and so I was left with an 8-week-old baby who was recovering from being in the hospital. I had postpartum depression pretty badly. And he just left us.
He had thrown our dog across the room. I had to hide with the kids in our bedroom, and there was no locks on the door, so I had to barricade the door.
And he just reached in and kind of punched me with the inside of his fist like this on the side of my head, and just rung my bell. And I just remember being totally in shock, and I just did not know how to process that.
He went from being emotionally abusive, from you're a bitch, you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, to all of a sudden it was physical.
There was only once that he shoved me, and the other times he was physical in the sense that there was several times that he had raped me throughout the relationship.
I looked at him, and I just kind of inquisitively, in shock, just said, "You hit me." And he kind of had this, kind of sense of release about him. Like, he felt like he was finally able to let that side of him out, and he seemed to be enjoying it.
I was still determined to try and make it work, because in my mind at that point, I was convinced that my son needed a dad. He needed a strong role model.
Just from that first moment of wondering what this is, even though you really know the whole time, to finally accepting that it is that A word that you don't want to associate yourself with. It's quite the journey to get there.
There was a moment when I took the kids, we left the house, and I was shaking, physically shaking when I left the house, because he was in such an angry mood, and I didn't know what was going to happen.
I felt that night that if I didn't leave the house, that I probably would have at least been hospitalized.
For the first time in months, I had my car and I had my car keys. And so I packed 3 Walmart bags of the most random stuff ever. And, and I went back to my parents' house and I told them everything that was going on.
And we drove up 8th Street. And I remember crying and thinking, I don't ever want my kids to see me like this. I don't like them seeing me this way. And that's when I Googled the WCA and I found the WCA.
I called, the only people that I felt would actually listen to me or maybe understand a little bit, because I was really embarrassed. And they welcomed me with open arms.
I was met with just such comfort and reassurance and validation, and those were the things that I just so desperately needed.
The WCA went with me to get my protection order. You're just super emotional. And so for me to sit there and barely be able to even tell the judge my side of the story, she was able to step in and say, this is what's going on. So she was almost my voice.
You had support and comfort and people who cared and family is really what it felt like. If it weren't for them telling me that I could and making me see that it was possible and that I'm not crazy and that I felt these things for a reason and I was going through something and I wasn't a bad person, I don't think I could have made it out of that.
I am thriving in school once again. I love it. I'm getting straight A's. I still write all the time, and I'm able to do these things and not have so much fear in me. And it's been really good. And I plan to give back, and I want to get my PhD in either genetics or neuroscience and give back and just help people.
One of my favorite things that I've been able to do, that I've been blessed with, is being able to go in and speak with high school students about what a healthy relationship is. If they recognize that, you are going through something and it's not right, and you don't have to normalize it, and you can get through what you have to get through and use your support systems that are available to you, and then you can make your own life, and it doesn't have to include that.
Working with the WCA, I'm able to tell my story. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed anymore. It is what it is. It made me who I am today. And by telling my story, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, this is what I'm going through. What can I do? Oh, well, I talked to this person at the WCA, or, reach out to a victim witness coordinator, go get a protection order. The WCA can help. So my dream is to help those find their voice again that have been silenced.